So how do I create a predictable pipeline of high quality clients? That is the question today, and that is what we're going to be diving into. Hey, this is Wayne, founder of Ugly Mug Marketing, and here's the thing. Over the last 15 years, we have grown every single year, back to back, and as the CEO, as a leader, I have actually worked less and less year after year, and yet we're able to keep growing, and we're able to still attract high quality clients. There's a pipeline of them. Now, there's going to be 3 specific strategies that we're going to dive into today that are going to walk you through how do you create this consistent flow of high quality clients in your pipeline so that you always have great clients to work with, right? That is the magical thing that we're going to talk about today. And when I say magical, I don't use that term lightly. What I mean by that is when you actually follow this proven system that we've been using now for 15, almost 16 years, it's magical because there's this never-ending flow of high quality clients waiting to hand you money. So if you're any form of professional services business, this video is important for you. So thing number 1, this is the very first thing you have to understand, that there's a big difference between marketing tactics and marketing strategy. So you can see here on this board, I've got these sticky notes, and each sticky note has a different word. Now let's imagine for a second that these are the different types of marketing things, quote unquote, that you could do in your business. Maybe you're already doing these in your business. This is what it looks like for most people. So they're doing some Facebook, they're doing some LinkedIn, or they're doing cold email, whatever those things are. What are those things for you? What are the things that you are consistently doing that are marketing things? Let me ask you a question. How are those things actually working out for you? Are they producing the results that you want? And the answer is probably not, right? You wouldn't be watching this video if you had this pipeline full of high quality clients just waiting to hand you money. So here's what I want you to think about. When you do all of these various marketing things, it's wonderful and great to have a lot of them going on, right? It's kind of like the spokes on a bicycle. So this is a bicycle wheel, and these are all the spokes going to the hub or the center. The more of these spokes that you have, the more marketing things that you have leading to this hub, that's where the money transfers. That's where the money takes place. And so maybe you're doing the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the cold email, whatever it may be that you're doing. The problem for so many is they're just doing a bunch of things, but there's no strategy behind it. There's no actual plan of action behind it. They're just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and hoping to see that this or that may stick to the wall. So what's the difference between a strategy and a tactic? So this is the difference. You're still going to do the exact same things, but when you think strategically, there's a logical plan and there's a logical process that takes place. And when you have that logical plan and process, when you take the time to think through it, it actually starts to make sense. So you can see this is a marketing strategy. Now, we're not necessarily doing different things, but we're ensuring that there's synergy between them, that they're all working together to produce the result that we're after. So that is number 1. We have to make sure that we're being strategic. If you want this pipeline of clients who are willing and ready to hand you money, your marketing has to be strategic. It can't just be tactical where we're throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is there are going to be 2 questions that I want you to ask yourself every single day. And these are what I call the power 2, because these 2 questions, as simple as they are profoundly impactful when it comes to growing your business and ensuring consistent growth. So what are these 2 magic questions? Now, again, I don't want you to dismiss these because they're so simple. These are actually life-changing for you as an entrepreneur and for your business if you take these 2 questions seriously. The problem for so many people is when they hear these questions, they're so simple, they ignore the questions. They don't pay attention to the questions because it just sounds too simple to actually be true. Question number 1 is this: what have I done to attract a customer today? So you as the owner, if you're the owner of the business, if you're the entrepreneur, what have you personally done today to attract a new client into your business? Now, that doesn't mean some random things. It needs to be very direct. It needs to be very strategic. What have you done today to attract or bring in a new client? So for me, there's something that I try to do every single day, 7 days a week, to bring someone in to our business. It could be texting someone, checking in with someone, right? Previous client, a possible new client, a business connection I made. It could be that I set up a new campaign and run a new campaign for the agency. It could be that I go meet with a strategic partner who may be able to refer business to us, right? The question is, what have I done today to attract new clients into our business? That's question one. Question number two, you're going to want to write this down. What have I done to keep a customer today? But specifically, what have I done to convert that customer into an evangelist for my business? What have I done today to keep a customer and convert them into an evangelist for my business? So if I were to ask you, where do your absolute best customers come from? The answer, almost always, for when I ask people when I'm speaking, where do your best customers come from? There's two words that come to mind. Number one, it's referrals. Number two, it's word of mouth. Those are the two places that your best customers probably come from. So the question is, what are you doing to nurture the relationship with your existing or previous clients so that they become evangelists for you, so that they're willing to go out and share and talk to other people and tell them about how great your services are, your products are, whatever that may be for you. So number one, the first thing we're going to do if we want a pipeline of qualified people waiting to hand you money is this. Number one, we're going to make sure that we are strategic with our marketing. If you don't know how to be strategic with your marketing, leave a comment. I can go in depth. I can create some videos around that. If that's what you're struggling with, I'm happy to do that. Number two, we want to ensure that we're asking the power to, right? There's two questions. What have I done to attract a customer today into the business? And number two, what have I done to keep a customer and convert them into an evangelist for our brand, for our products, for our services? That is the very next thing that you and I must do. Now, here's the next thing I want you to be focused on. This is what I would call the concentric circles of trust. And this is what this looks like. So we've got these circles that go further and further out. Now, as we move further and further away, there's less and less trust in our products, our services, and our brand. So right here, these would be people who know you, who trust you, who are willing to do business with you just because of who you are, right? These people trust you. As we move 1 degree of separation away, so maybe here it's like your family and your personal close friends. 1 degree of separation away, that is where these people, our family, our friends, personal friends, they have connections, right? Maybe it's their family members or their acquaintances. And so they're imparting their trust to these people. And so it's pretty easy for us to convince them. It's pretty easy for us to get money from these people because there's imparted trust from these people in the core center, which you may see this already coming, but this is why it's so important that we build trust, that we have trust as a core element in our marketing material, which goes back to that question. Number two, what have I done to keep a customer and convert them into an evangelist for the brand? As we move out again, we're getting to people who are now just maybe aware of us, right? They've heard of us. Maybe it's through our marketing efforts. Maybe it's through, kind of word of mouth from our second degree connections here. But what you can see is the trust is diminishing as it moves further and further out. So when you do marketing, and this is a key point, when you do marketing, your marketing is typically taking place out here, right? Out here in this realm, where there is virtually no trust in you, no trust in your products or services because they don't know much about you, right? Your marketing message, whether it's Facebook or email or cold calling or whatever that may be, they don't know anything about you. And that is why so many people, their marketing fails. It doesn't deliver the results that it could or should because they're talking to these people out here the same way they're talking to these people in here. They're ignoring the fact that these people out here do not trust us. There's no implied trust. There's no trust passed on to us from other people. They don't know us, right? There's no personal connection here. There's no brand connection here. So when we start doing marketing, when we start moving out, we must lead with trust. We must lead with the reasons that people should trust us, trust our businesses, the reasons that our product or our service is going to be worth more to them than the money they part with. When they pull out their wallet and hand us money, right? They're handing us money because they believe that they're going to receive more value from our product or service than from the money that they're giving us. That is a key distinction here. And when we think about this in terms of messaging and psychology, this is going to be an important distinction. All buying transactions go through this exact same process. So over here, we have strangers. Our first job would be to convince these strangers to be our friends. That's our first job. And in order for someone to go from being a stranger to a friend, there's two things that have to happen. Number one, they have to know about it, right? Super obvious. If somebody doesn't know about you, your product, your service, your brand, there's no way that they're going to be your friend. The second ingredient is they have to like you. They have to like your product, your services, your brand, your values, the things that you represent, the things that you stand for as a business and as an entrepreneur. The next part of the buying process is this: we have to turn our friends into customers. And the key ingredient to make this happen is this word called trust, right? That's exactly what we just talked about here. This is the key element. As we move further away from the people who know us directly, there's less and less trust because it's not implied. There's no implied trust when we're out here. Now, here's the distinction for you. If you want this pipeline of qualified people ready to hand you money, this is the distinction. We must take our existing customers and clients, and we must turn them into evangelists for our products, for our services, and for our brand. This is the key. Again, we think about, where do your best customers, where do your best clients come from? They come from word of mouth and referrals. And where do word of mouth and referrals come from? They come from people who love you so much, they love your product or service so much that they're willing to go out and tell other people about it. And that's exactly what an evangelist does for you. So evangelists go out and tell their friends about how great your product, your service, your brand is. And what happens when an evangelist goes out and tells someone? Think about it. So let's just say that you just bought some new product, or you're subscribed to some service, and you absolutely love this product or service. And a friend calls you up and says, hey, let's just use an example of, maybe it's a car. So maybe you just bought a car. Maybe it's a new, I'm just going to say a Tesla. You bought a Tesla. Love them, hate them, whatever. Let's pretend for this example that you just bought a new Tesla. And so your friend later, a month or two later, after you got your Tesla, you love this thing, you think it's amazing. Your friend comes to you and says, hey, I'm considering getting an EV, electric vehicle. What do you think about your Tesla? And then you go on and on about how amazing it is, how the car is phenomenal quality, how the brand, all this stuff. You go on and on. And what are you doing? You're not just telling your friend about the car. You're not just telling them about the brand. You're imparting your trust to them. In other words, you trust the brand, you trust the car so much. You've had such a great experience owning this thing that you're imparting that trust to your friends. So when we hop back over here to this concentric circle of trust, what I want you to think about when we're thinking strategically about our messaging is that if we're doing things to people who don't know about us, we need to lead with trust. We have to lead with trust if we want this pipeline filled with people. Now, here's the problem for you as an entrepreneur, for you as a business owner. People don't trust you. And they don't trust you. They don't trust your brand. They don't trust your messaging. Why? Because they know that you have a vested interest, right? If they give you money, you're going to benefit from that. So therefore, they don't trust what you have to say. And this is true across the board, across industries. There's consumer skepticism when it comes to marketing messages. So when we start reaching out to these other circles, we have to lead with things that build trust. And the number one way that you can build trust with people who don't know anything about you, your products, your services, is by leveraging the credibility of other people. And the best way to do this is through referrals, case studies, and testimonials. Referrals, case studies, and testimonials. Those are the three core ingredients to build this pipeline of referrals, to build this pipeline with people who are wanting to pull out that wallet and wanting to hand you money. This is the way to do it. So when it comes to getting referrals, most people make mistakes when they do this. They first of all, most people don't even reach out to their clients and ask for referrals. That's a huge mistake. So if you're not doing that, you have to do that. Number two, you don't necessarily want to ask for a referral, because what happens is this. You go to your client and you say, we had a great experience. I think you've enjoyed working with us. The thing that we built for you is great. It's producing the results like it should. Would you mind sending people our way? And they say, sure, would happy to, love to, be glad to do that. And then what happens? Insert the sound of crickets, right? Nothing, because they have their own lives. They're busy. Now, if we're lucky and someone happens to come along to them and says, hey, I'm looking for this type of service. Do you know anybody that can help me? Sure, they're going to talk about you. They're going to say, you definitely need to call Wayne. You need to call his team. They'll take care of you. But the odds are that's not going to happen, at least not in this concise window. And so the question for you is, what type of marketing are you doing to continually foster the relationships in here so that you are constantly top of mind? I see this, for example, in the agency space so often, that we have all these clients that we served in the past. We built websites for, we did campaigns for, we did all of these things for, and they're no longer our clients, right? Not because we didn't do anything right, or not because they're mad at us. It's just simply because they own their website now. They're doing their marketing stuff. They're doing their social, whatever it may be. And yet we stop communicating with them because we're out hunting for the next quote unquote new fish in the pond, right? The new prospect that can come our way and hand us money. That's a huge mistake. That past list of people, they're probably here, or maybe here. Those are the ones who have the connections. Those are the ones with these direct connections. And here's what I want you to see. These people who are out here, so these again would be your immediate family, friends. These would be, second degree of separation kind of here. Well, think about this. These people who are here, second degree separation for you, first degree of separation for them would be these people out here in this ring. So it's our job to ensure that we keep communicating with these people so that when they interact with other people and the question comes up about who do you use for your website or what do you use for your marketing, that we are top of mind. So a question for you to ponder is this. What percent of your marketing budget goes to these people, goes to the people that you've already served, goes to the people who are previous or current clients, keeping your name in front of them? You don't have to continually say, hey, who do you know that can do business with us? But you do have to stay top of mind so that when that person comes to them or when they're in conversation, you become the point of reference. You become the referral. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to do, and this is another very important thing, instead of going to your previous clients and saying, hey, please send people my way, why don't you go to them and say this? Hey, I know that you're in this club, or I know that you're on this board. Do you happen to know this person who is also on the board? So this requires a little bit of work on your part, but what happens is you can ask for direct connections this way. And this is one of the most powerful ways, right? Get them to make a personal introduction between you and that other person. This is the way that I've expanded my network. This is the way that I've ended up with New York Times bestselling authors as clients. This is the way that we've ended up with massive companies as clients, is simply by going to them and saying, hey, look, I noticed that you serve on this board. I know that you're part of this nonprofit organization. Would you mind introducing me directly to, and then I put their name in there. And you know what? If we have a good relationship, they absolutely take care of this for us. So that is another important distinction for you. Don't just say, would you be willing to tell other people about us? Say, would you be willing to connect me with, insert their name here. And then the other two would be testimonials and case studies, right? Those are the other two core ingredients on building trust with people out here. So use testimonials from your previous clients. Make sure you're getting testimonials. If you're not getting testimonials, you've got to start getting testimonials from your current and previous clients. Use those in your marketing messages. Remember, people want to know that other people trust you. They want to know that other people are willing to give you money, that other people have made the same decision that they're about to make. Use those things. Build your case studies. All of these elements that we talked about, from your strategy to the concentric circles of trust here, to the power questions, the two power questions. What have I done to attract a customer today? And what have I done to keep and convert a customer today? These three core things will literally transform your business, transform your agency if you have a marketing agency. These things I can't stress enough. But the problem, you have to be the one that takes the initiative on these things. You have to be the one that ensures that whether it's you or someone else on your team, you have to ensure that these things are being done. And here's what I can tell you from my experience and from the experience of our clients who we've implemented these systems and processes into, is that for us, 15 going on 16 years of consistent growth with very little in terms of way marketing budget compared to a lot of our competitors. We spend very little in terms of marketing and we continually grow. And the same thing is possible for you. 100% is possible for you. If you have any questions, again, I'm here to help. Leave them in the comments below. And I hope, nothing else, that you'll take what I've shared here, begin implementing it. I would love to hear your results after you implement these strategies.